What's up, everybody? Namaste. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world tuning into this. Quick shout out. Don't forget to like, share, or subscribe the podcast, Urban Spirituality. Go find it in Google, hashtag Urban Spirituality, hashtag Stress to Success. Check those hashtags out. Subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel, etc. I want to talk about independence. We are on the verge of India's Independence Day, the day that India celebrates its independence from the British Empire. And it made me reflect. How many people do we stop to think? How many people lost their lives to a great cause such as independence? In India, for example, people of all religions, all faiths lost their lives in the struggle to find independence from the rule of a foreign country. Excuse me. So many nations around the world have at some stage been subjugated, been forced into the oppressive rule of a foreign nation. And I want us to take a moment to pause and think of the sacrifices that our forefathers, or people that we know and their forefathers, have made for the liberation of their land. Whether it be India today, an African nation, a South American nation, so many countries around the world have fought so hard, but a country can only fight as hard as its people. And it's the people who lay down their lives, not the politicians easily, not often. It's the people, the military, the civilians, sometimes unwittingly dying, even not wanting to die. And therefore, whilst we talk about independence, I think it's important to talk about sacrifice. Whenever we talk about independence, let us focus on sacrifice. You see, many of us are enjoying the privileges, the luxury of our comfortable lifestyles here in the Western world that our parents, our forefathers had to sacrifice so hard for us to have this. I hope some of you can feel what I'm talking about. I know my parents did, my grandparents, and beyond. So many of them sacrificed so much so that we could have what we have today. And therefore, it's this theme of sacrifice that I feel is at the heart of independence. You see, isn't it funny that for most people, independence entails freedom of expression, choice, freedom to do what we want, say what we want, think what we want. Of course, ultimately, it means the freedom to enjoy. And yet, in this artificially propelled day and age, programmed to seek enjoyment and pleasure more so than the need to sacrifice. Our focus is so much on chasing the pleasures of life, the joys of life, that we forget the sacrifice that we need to make to achieve those things. You know, Jim Rohn, a famous coach and mentor to many, said famously, you cannot have the prize without the price. You cannot have the prize without the price. And that price is sacrifice. That price is tolerance. That price is compassion for people around you. That price is courage. That price is giving up things that you may need to in the short term for the longer good. That prize is putting other people first. I sure as heck am not saying that I do all those things perfectly, but I know that has to be a part of my life. And so I invite you to consider, what is it that needs to be a part of your life in order for you to have that prize? And who are you having that prize for? So here's a question. What's the point of having independence if you don't have inner happiness, inner peace, harmony in your relationships? What is the point of independence? You can be a madman and be independent. Of what value is it if you don't have the love of the people that matter, if you don't have people caring for you, if you don't have peace when you sit in stillness, if when you're alone, you cannot but sit alone without being distracted by a phone or a TV or music or something, if you cannot sit in stillness and be with you, just you, then what is the meaning of independence? What is the point? And if we can't find that true inner independence, think about that, independence. We are dependent on the inner independence. Break the word down. We are dependent on the inner state for our joy, our happiness, our harmony, our state of being, and the relationships we have around us. If we cannot find independence inside of ourselves, then how can we as a community, and on a wider scale as a group of people, on a wider scale as a nation, as a country, how can we then get the independence that we truly deserve and the true independence that we need? Not just independence from the tyrannical rule of would-be politicians and rulers and tyrants, but I mean independence, true independence, so that whoever we are, however much our bank balance is or isn't, or whatever state, race, religion, culture, age that we are able to find harmony, happiness, and unity in ourself and with the people around us. That is my meditation for you. I hope you consider this. Please share your feedback about the power of independence in your life, and let us together raise a hat to the people who sacrificed their lives in India, of all races, religions, and cultures, to bring about independence of that great nation, India, which was originally known as Bharatvarsh, the oldest place on the planet. That's it from me. Peace out. Namaste.